Hey everybody, so today I wanted to share with you guys how I laminate all of our educational printables. I had quite a few comments on this the last time I shared with you guys our favorite ones, and I thought I would show you guys a tutorial about how I do it. I did include a couple different examples in this video just because there's a few different ways that I laminate things just based off of what I'm looking for and what kind of printable it is. So like I said, I just have a few different examples. The first one being these single sheets. I don't want to do anything special with them. They're just going to be stuck inside a lamination page all by themselves, and they're going to be ready to go. They're the easiest out of all my printables that I have today. And then next up is going to be something that I want to double side. Now there's a couple different ways that I do this. You can make it as simple as just having it front to back. But today I did want to put a couple pieces in between those papers so it's not so see-through. So I'm going to walk you guys through doing that as well because I know that was a learning process for me. And then lastly, I do have these printouts, and it's basically the rest of them where it's some kind of mat, and then they're going to have Velcro dots, and it's going to be these little tiny printables that are also going to be laminated. So it's going to require some cutting and some Velcro and stuff like that, but as you can see, I have a ton of different examples. There's a cookie jar, there's season matching, and then 2 different rhyming games. So I do typically have my laminator getting ready, getting warmed up as I am getting all my papers together, kind of matching them up and, getting a feel for what I want to do because like I said, different lamination sheets take different things. And I do have mine sitting on my desk right now, and that's basically where I laminate. And I also wanted to show you guys what kind of lamination sheets I use. I use the Scotch brand. It's what came with my laminator, so that's what I use, and I will have everything that I'm using in this video linked down below. But the first thing that I'm going to show you is how I laminate these rhyming matching games or anything that's going to require, like I said, a mat and then pieces to go with it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put the mat inside a single sheet just like that. So as you can see, I am adjusting it. Sometimes it doesn't always go on the first try, but you basically just want to open up your lamination sheet and push the paper towards the sealed edge. And with my laminator, the sealed edge is what I put into the laminator first, but that's what you want to do with the mats because it's just as simple as sticking them in there. They don't need anything special. They're not getting cut out or anything. So that's what your mats are going to look like. Like I said, it's just really simple when it comes to those. And with the little pieces that you're going to need, you do not want to just stick them in the sheet like we did with the mats. Because you are going to have to cut them out, you want to cut them out beforehand, not afterwards. Personally, I think every lamination machine is different. Mine tends to seal things in regardless if I cut them or not. However, I do still like to cut them beforehand. So as you can see, I'm just cutting out all these little cards that are meant to go with the matching game, and then I'm sticking them inside the lamination sheet spaced apart. That way, when I do need to cut them out, again, I'm not cutting through paper, I'm not cutting through the ceiling. I'm just going to cut around that. So that's basically what it's going to look like. Like I said, it's just lined up, there's spaces between them, and you just want to take the time to cut them out beforehand. And with my laminator, I have to put the sealed edge in first, so that's what I'm going to do here. And I basically just watch it go in and make sure nothing funky is happening at first, making sure that's going in right within the guidelines. And during this time, I'll just get ready to put the other ones in, obviously. And when it is done, I just lay it beside the laminator on the other side so it can cool off before I typically throw it on my bed that's behind me. But yeah, during this time I do watch it, but I also get started on other things. So as you can see, I'm getting the other rhyming game ready, just the same stuff that I showed you before. And as you can see, I did cut out all the pieces to the cookie jar game, and I didn't do a perfect job. There's still white around them, but it's not going to affect anything, and you'll see that later on in the video. But the same goes here. Like I said, I try to multitask as much as possible, especially when I have this many different parts and different printouts and stuff. It's just a little time consuming, so I try to make sure I'm making the most out of my time. And again, I just let them cool on my desk right there. And now I am going to move on to those single sheets that I told you guys about. And like I said, these are super simple. There's really not much to doing these at all. You just want to go ahead and open up your lamination sheet and stick it in. Of course, you could double side these. You could do a whole bunch of different things. Obviously, whatever you want to do, they're your printables. But with these ones in particular, I just want to keep them simple and just stick them in a packet and be done with it. So these really are as simple as they get. They're ready to use as soon as they're cooled off. So now we are going to move on to that printable that I said I wanted to double side. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. Typically I just stick one plain white sheet of paper in between whatever I'm trying to double side. However, with these ones, I wanted to put in two. Because they look so much alike and because they were just black and white, I felt like one piece of paper really wasn't making them not so see-through, so that's why I decided to go with two. And these are pretty simple besides that fact of putting paper between them, just like the printables before these ones. So you're just gonna go and get a lamination sheet, open it up and stick it in. And really the hardest part about this is just making sure all those papers stay aligned, because there are 4 sheets of paper there, so it can take some jiggling around and moving, and I don't always get it perfect, obviously, but you can wiggle them around. I feel like the lamination sheets are pretty forgiving, and I'm always not super strict on like my edges. I don't really care if they're even or if they're a little wonky. And with this printable or anything that I'm putting paper in between, I do like to help it through because it can tend to be a little heavy, and I do like to press it down, just make sure that it's gonna dry nice and straight. Now my laminator has been turned off for quite a while, so I'm just gonna move that over and scooch it, but you don't want to move it around too much, obviously, if it's still hot, but mine have been turned off. And now I'm just gonna show you how to go about finishing up these printables. So these ones are all ready to go. There's nothing else to them. You can literally go use them right now. Since they're cooled off, they're good to go. Now these are the tricky ones. Like I said, there's going to be more cutting involved, and there's going to be Velcro dots. These are the finished product of ones that I did behind the scenes. So as you can see, they have these little pictures, they've got Velcro dots, and that's basically going to be the end results to the rest of the ones that I'm going to show you. So the first one we're going to start off with is the rhyming game, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the little pictures here. You can use a straight edge cutter, but I personally like scissors because, like I said, I just kind of put those pictures in however they'll fit, so they are a little weird, misaligned and stuff. And if you're worried about sharp edges, you can trim them, round them, do all whatever you want, but personally I don't see it to be a big issue. My girls have never complained or hurt themselves, and you just want to go ahead and do that with all of them. And then when you do get finished, we are going to have to move on to the Velcro dots, and I bought these ones off of Amazon. Inexpensive, they work well. There's 2 different rolls here, and basically one of these rolls is the soft side, so these are it. This is just going to be what sticks to the sticky side, obviously. So that's this roll, the soft side, and then the other roll is the sticky side, and you just kind of want to pick and choose what you use and where. But like I said, I did get these off of Amazon. They were relatively inexpensive, and there's a lot in a roll, and I've used quite a bit of them already. And with these, you're going to want to take, well, what I find works best is to put the sticky side of the Velcro dots on the mat itself, and I'm just placing these in the middle the best I can. Obviously none of this is perfect. It's not a big deal if you don't get them perfectly in the center or anything. Trust me, they're still usable. And as you can see, these Velcro dots are pretty see-through. I feel like it does take a little bit away, but you can still read what's generally underneath of it. And as soon as we complete all of that, we're going to move on to the soft-sided Velcro dots. And with these, I go ahead and I place them on top of the sticky dots, how they're supposed to be. Basically how they'll be actually functioning. And I do this just by sticking the dot on my finger and then using a fingernail to help get it off. That way the sticky side of the soft dot is face up, and you're going to see what we're going to do as soon as I complete that. You're basically just going to pick up a picture, and I'm trying to correspond these, but I'll show in a minute how that doesn't really matter. But you're just going to want to take a picture and place it where it goes and press pretty hard. That way it's nice and centered, so everything lines up nicely and evenly, or as much as possible. And like I said, I did try to match these up and do the best that I could, but I also wanted to show you with these last 2 that it doesn't matter if you do them wrong, because they are on Velcro dots. You can switch them around. And like with the cookie thing, I didn't take the time to put them in the right spots, as you can obviously see. So it doesn't really matter if you don't get them in the right spot or not. And here I'm just giving you an up close look to what I was talking about. You just want to go ahead and place all those sticky dots down first. And like I said, you can still see what's underneath of it despite putting something on top of your mat. And then you want to go in with these soft dots and just place them over top of all the sticky ones. Again, I just use a finger and a fingernail to help that process. And then I put the pictures on there. And I just find that this helps get them aligned. You know, you don't have to worry about putting your dots in the right spot or anything because it'd be in two different places or anything. It just helps a lot. So these are all the printables that I got done today with you guys. I will of course have links to them down below. I will also link to my Pinterest page, which I pin all of our favorite printables in case you haven't seen my previous video, but I will also link that video in case you haven't seen it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share this with you guys and kind of give you an insight on how I like to laminate. And I will of course have all the different products that I used today, from the Velcro dots to my laminator to lamination sheets, all that good stuff, all linked down below for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.